So at the top of it here, Ed, I just want to give the audience a little bit of a insight into the reason why we created this and what the whole reason behind it is. And I want to start off by just mentioning to the audience that I asked you a question the other day, and I said, "Hey Ed," it's funny because that's the name of your YouTube channel. I said, "Hey Ed, is there anybody else that you talk to about all of this geopolitical stuff?" And you kind of shook your head and said no. And I'm like, "Come on, man, you live in the United States. There's 200 million people there or something like that. Surely there's somebody else that you could talk to. It's some crazy Aussie on the other side of planet Earth." And you were like, "No, I think it's important that men, in actual fact, have an outlet to have these conversations and these discussions as well, because it's something that's not really spoken about much. If you've got something that's inside you that you want to get out and you've got to get it off your chest, you've got to find a creative outlet to do that with, whether that's with your mates down at the pub drinking a beer or that's with your mates over a video call like we're doing right now. I think it's important to have that. What do you reckon, Ed?
Oh yeah, and on that topic, it's kind of funny because I've got two sons, two adult sons. They never watch my YouTube videos. They don't get half the time. So did you watch my video on this? No. So hey Ryan, hey Ben, just in case you watch. So my older son owns a pizzeria in New York. Called Randazzo's. If anybody of you out in New York, go into Randazzo's on Ditmas Boulevard in Brooklyn and tell him you saw the old man on YouTube. He'll get a kick out of it. And my younger son, boy, he doesn't care about any of this stuff. But I'm trying to drill it into their heads. When I'm at Thanksgiving dinner with my family, and I start bringing up, the modern monetary theory, but our eyes start to roll and
my God, he's on that path again. Here he goes again. Are you like the old guy sitting on the porch and then back in my day it was much better and it was like, you're not that guy yet?
Yeah, right. Yeah, and that's what I should do. Go out onto the porch in the rocking chair and talk to myself, and that's what it feels like sometimes. But I'm really passionate about the kind of things that we talk about. So you're right. It is kind of therapeutic when I get a chance to talk to you because I have a chance to get it out. It's a good outlet. And the idea that we're going to be doing this very frequently now, almost every day, 4 or 5 times a week, it's going to be really good for my mental health. And it's just, when you find a subject that you're passionate about, whatever it is, the more esoteric it is, the more important it is for you to find somebody you can talk to about it. Because if it's important to you, you want to be able to share it and flush out ideas. And, I promise you, my friends, we're going to be talking about all sorts of stuff. So it's not just going to be about economics.
It's not just about war either from my side.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We're going to be talking about all sorts of crazy stuff. So, so I hope that you tune in just out of curiosity to see what we end up talking about. And there's no end. I mean, man, I think we could do a show every day for a year and not run out of things to talk about.
Well, the world is such a crazy place these days, and I think you're 100% right. What I do is I look at my YouTube habits, right? And YouTube's a big part of my life because I'm helping people build YouTube channels and communities around that, and I'm also doing that myself. But from my user perspective, when I look at my feed, the things that I'm looking at, I'm a bit of a news junkie. And I don't know if it's because I'm addicted to bad news or the fact is that I just enjoy knowing what's going on in the world, because I can't put my finger on it, because when I talk to other people about it, they're like, "What do you even care, Rob? Why does it even matter?" But I think what matters is the structure and the foundations of our society, because everything that you have in your life and your world has been a product of thousands of generations of people that have gone before you. And here we are today talking about, we're on the precipice of World War III. That's what I'm going to be talking about. You're talking about complete and total control of a financial system, and then rockets that are going to take us to another planet, for heaven's sake. Like, we've come so far as a human race, and we tend to focus on the things that don't really matter, and we're focusing on the things that we can't control. And that's what you and I are talking about. We can't control any of this, and it doesn't really matter in our day-to-day activity, but it's the foundation of humanity and a foundation of who we are. And I love that big picture thinking. I love that geopolitical stuff. I love learning about how the world works. And I'm really looking forward actually to bringing on some experts to clarify a few things for me, because I'm a little bit of a slow learner. And I'm looking forward to bringing on some authors and some other experts in and around the topics that we discuss. So it's not just going to be me and Ed here, folks. It's going to be a whole bunch of different interviews as well. And I'm really looking forward to sharing that with you and the audience as well. What do you think, Ed? Have you got something you want to add there?
Oh yeah, thank you. Look, it's about being curious, right? I think the reason why you and I are so interested in so many different things is because we're curious, and everyone should stay curious. The day when you're not curious, the day when you don't care about what a topic, that's what's the point of getting up in the morning? I mean, stay curious. I triple majored in college in history, English, and ancient Greek. Why? And there wasn't a business class anywhere in the mix.
It wasn't an economics class to be seen.
Look, I was kind of an academic snob. I looked down on my business major friends, but looking back, I mean, I wanted to study the loftier thoughts of the world and the philosophers. I wanted to travel the world, man. I was interested in history, and I've never really lost it. I've always been curious. And I like learning things that other people don't traditionally know about. I got all sorts of, I guess, what a lot of people would consider trivia about things, but I find it interesting. I find it fascinating, and in the course of conversation, when you can throw in little bits of information no one's ever heard before, and you get a little, it's kind of like, I've had some teaching experience in my lifetime on many different levels. And one of my favorite sounds in the world was when you see that light bulb go off, and people connect that, that's I didn't know that. It's kind of a satisfying feeling, and hopefully out there over the course of our conversations, we can create a lot of ahs out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the idea behind the name as well, the unspoken truth, because the media has a narrative that they want to perpetuate, and they want you to think in a certain way. They want you to behave in a certain way. And there's this whole big, strange groupthink going on out there in the world, whatever society you're part of. It doesn't matter what country you're coming from or what culture you're coming from. There's a narrative that's actually controlling you as an individual. And I think the really important thing is that we pull back the curtain and look behind what they're trying to say. A lot of what they do is meant for the greater good of people. Let's face it, it's not all bad. It's not all, governments are not always bad. They do a lot of really great things. And, if the people that ran the governments weren't where they were today, we wouldn't have the infrastructure or the society that we actually have. But, that's the paradox of leadership is I think we're governed by fools, but we're run by really super competent people. At least that's the experience that I've had here in Australia. And you probably have that in the United States as well to a certain point. And there's always up until a point is where it's at. All right, let's throw to you, Ed, for the first segment here. You're going to talk about CBDCs. Hopefully we can get some people in the audience be going, that's what it means. Oh my God, that's why this is such a nightmare. So I'm going to pull myself out of the stream here. I'm going to hand it over to you. So